Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here. And this is going to be a short video, but I just wanted to touch on a couple pickups I had recently for a couple of my, really like all-time favorite movies that were long overdue on Blu-ray and finally got releases. One of them even better than Blu-ray, but let's start with the Blu-ray. We're talking about American Movie, Chris Smith and Sarah Price documentary from 1999, the tale of one Mark Borchardt, who is trying to make a film called Northwestern, and the documentary deals with his trials and tribulations as he attempts to make a movie on a very low budget after a great deal of trying to make other films. He's been making films since he was a kid. We see that history. We see his friend Mike Shank helping him. And by the way, R.I.P. Mike Shank. He recently passed away, unfortunately. I want to say just before this movie hit Blu-ray, which is really sad, as he is one of the highlights of this film. Mike Shank is a very good friend and musician. Plays the guitar, drinks vodka, and helps Mark Borchardt with his films. But like I said, it's a really incredible portrait of a guy trying to make a movie, a guy wrestling with failure, and Borchardt is one of the most interesting dudes you've ever seen, I think, period. Like, he's just a fascinating guy, a guy who is from Wisconsin, where this film takes place. That's actually where I'm from myself. And he is just this total paradoxical thing of a guy who seems undereducated but is actually really, really intelligent and has this, very remarkable vocabulary, but also is wrestling with issues in his personal life with his family and a lack of money. And it is just one of those portraits that is ultimately so funny and so inspirational as to really stand out as one of the great documentaries of the past, 50 years. I really think it's just so incredibly quotable, so fun to watch, and heartbreaking at times also, just really, really incredible film. And Chris Smith would end up making more documentaries. There's some of his stuff that's still not on Blu-ray. Home Movie is a really great one that's only on DVD at this point. And he's done a ton more stuff. And now he's working with Netflix. He's really come a long way from meager beginnings with this incredible documentary, which, just became such a sensation because of Mark Borchardt, because of Mike Shank. Just two really fun and interesting dudes that you want to spend time with and you want to root for. And anyway, so this was relegated to DVD for a long, long time, and now we finally have a Blu-ray of this available, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy that people will be able to see this now, because I know the DVD was out of print. You could still stream this movie in SD, but it just kind of was a travesty in a way because of how great a film this was and how big a hit it was back in 1999 in terms of the amount of people that I knew that were seeing it and inspired by it, and people to this day still say it's their favorite movie. It's just one of those movies you watch and you're just like, wow, I love this guy. I love this movie. I want to watch it again. And so we have, in terms of features, there's a director and cast commentary, which is also very good and very fun, and a bunch of deleted scenes, which are really, really great. The movie runs about an hour and 45 minutes, but, it's one of those movies that you kind of wish was longer. And so you have a bunch of deleted scenes. I think you can find those on YouTube somewhere and stuff, but there's some great stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that is great to have in those deleted scenes. So anyway, very excited about American Movie coming to Blu-ray. Just a long time coming. And as I said before, another long time coming release is the LIMEY, Steven Soderbergh's film from 1999, written by Lem Dobbs, shot by the great Ed Lachman. Really, really one of the top-tier cinematographers working and a guy who really collaborated well with Soderbergh on this film. This is the Best Buy exclusive steelbook. It has a nice red slipcase you can pull off, and then you can see Terrence Stamp in all his glory as Wilson. And this film is really neat for a lot of reasons. One, it's just one of my favorites of 1999. It's one of my favorites from Soderbergh, and it's just a really great story, in part because of the script and because of the characterization by Terrence Stamp, who plays a guy who comes to Los Angeles to find the man that he holds responsible for his daughter's death. And that guy's name is Terry Valentine, and he's played by Peter Fonda in this film. So you have Peter Fonda, you have Terrence Stamp, you have Barry Newman as the sort of security guy to Terry Valentine. So you have right there three icons of 60s cinema. I guess Vanishing Point is technically like 1970, but they're all of that period, and they are all so dynamic to watch in this film. So Wilson comes to Los Angeles. He finds Luis Guzman, who apparently had gotten him word that his daughter was killed or died, and asks him for help finding Terry Valentine, and then he sets off to do so. Now, the story, I guess in its essence, is relatively conventional. It's something of a movie story we've seen before, but part of what's great about it is there are some really cool flourishes in the script, and it's a really well-written script by Lem Dobbs, who, by the way, I just think is such a character in the commentary with Soderbergh. There's multiple commentaries on this disc ported from the old Artisan DVD. But the movie benefits greatly from stylistic choices that are made. It is done in a very impressionistic style. We have flash forwards, flashbacks. We have lots of just jumping around in time, jump cuts, and things where you see the story and the point of view manipulated in such a way that it really becomes not like any film you've seen, or at least not a film you've seen since the 1960s. It's very much feeling new wavy in that way, which I love. And obviously Soderbergh is a big fan of. People often talk about Point Blank in terms of a point of reference, which I know Soderbergh is a huge fan of, and there's some great editing at the beginning of that where you have Lee Marvin walking and we're seeing all this other stuff. But then it becomes a little bit more conventional after that opening. And this film continues to sort of jump around throughout, and I think it's a really great choice and makes the film that much better. And it's just a great revenge story, and it's got a great cast, and there's even some really cool moments interjected of both Terrence Stamp and Peter Fonda from previous films shown as flashbacks. In the case of, I forget what they used for Peter Fonda, but for Terrence Stamp, there was an old British film he made called Poor Cow, and it's black and white. And so when it's showing him in flashback, it's really him when he's younger, and it's just a neat thing to have. And it's surprising more films don't attempt something like that, especially with an actor who's had a career as long as Terrence Stamp or Peter Fonda have had. But it's a great device amidst all the other stylistics, and I love that about it. So you get a digital copy of the film here, and then you get your Blu-ray and your 4K, and the 4K looks fantastic. The detail is incredible. On top of that, we get the audio commentary with Soderbergh and Lem Dobbs, which is really, really good. Like, Lem Dobbs does not pull any punches. He doesn't suffer fools, and he definitely has a lot to say about, making movies in Hollywood and this movie getting made, and some choices that were made in this. There's a great bit about a great scene where the camera stays outside of a location as the character goes back in. I won't talk about the specifics of that, but you can tell Lem Dobbs is very annoyed that the critics who praised Soderbergh for that choice obviously didn't realize that it was something that was fully scripted by Lem Dobbs, and he's very grumpy about it, and it's very amusing in that way. So there is also another audio commentary with Soderbergh, Lem Dobbs, Peter Fonda, Terrence Stamp, Barry Newman, and Leslie Ann Warren, who's also in this film, and another great actor who has had a long and storied career and really does a nice job slotting in with all these older actors. But as I said, just a fantastic movie, and one that, I'll be honest, I don't know if Soderbergh has topped it since he did it, and it may be the best thing he's ever done for my money. I mean, but he continues to do adventurous and interesting things, so that is by no means to say that he hasn't done great stuff since then. I just think, for me, this is the one. It's just everything coalesces, everything comes together, and we get this just incredible movie that I was so excited to see get not only a Blu-ray but a 4K. This is a movie that had only a DVD release until recently, and that was sad and depressing, to be honest. And so I was very excited to see this get this 4K, and as I said, it looks great, and I'm super excited to have it. And so between American Movie and the LIMEY, 2 films from 99, by the way, I didn't even put that together until this moment, 2 of my favorite films from 99, now finally available on Blu-ray and 4K. So just a couple pickups. Just wanted to mention, if you haven't grabbed them, you can get American Movie anywhere and online and everything. And the LIMEY, at least for now, I think is only a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. Maybe you're not a Steelbook person. I'm not particularly myself, but this, I don't know, this is pretty great, I gotta say. And I'm not one for waiting for a standard edition of a movie that I love like this, when I can just walk down to Best Buy or drive down to Best Buy and pick it up right now. So, well worth your time. If you haven't seen the LIMEY, it's just a great movie, just well worth watching. So, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching and or listening. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.